We are going to win the championship.
Wow. The Golden State Warriors were at a crossroads, trying to balance their future while holding out hope for one last championship run. At the trade deadline standing at 500, they faced a choice: commit to winning now or risk fading into irrelevance. They chose to go all in. Then came Jimmy Butler. Since his arrival, the Warriors have gone 7-1, boasting a top 5 offense and defense. Jimmy has added a new dimension to this team with some good playmaking, relentless slashing, and a defensive intensity that pairs great with Draymond Green. But the story isn't about just Jimmy. It's about how he's unlocked Steph Curry to do what he does best, while giving the Warriors a legitimate shot at another ring potentially. So how did Jimmy Butler transfer this team? And can this new look Warriors squad make a deep playoff run? Let's break it down. Jimmy Butler's arrival gave the Warriors something they've been missing: rim pressure and a secondary playmaker with real scoring gravity. While Steph Curry has shouldered the bulk of the creation load for years now, Jimmy's ability to attack the paint and bend defenses creates a different kind of space, one that opens up the perimeter versus Curry in a way opening up the interior with this perimeter gravity. Jimmy's presence forces defenses to make a tough decision: collapse on him and leave shooters open, or stay home and risk giving up easy buckets or potentially a foul at the rim. Let's take a closer look at how Jimmy's slashing and playmaking has transformed the Warriors' offense. Right here, let's start with the first play of the Jimmy Butler era. This will be a horns out touch Spain action. I know it's a lot being said there. Here the Warriors are going to set up the horns out part, and Curry will bust out and receive the ball and quickly just pitch it back to Jimmy to get the defense moving. And Draymond would quickly flip the ball screen for Butler while Buddy is preparing to sprint up from the baseline. Defense is confused. Pump fake three. Right here we have an example of Jimmy's interior gravity on display, where he sets the screen, he gets the switch, and look how far Pajinski's man is from him to open up a corner 3 pass from Moses Moody. And I could do a whole video on this skill set from Jimmy, because this is what he's the best in the league at, just slipping these screens and going up and finishing, especially for a wing. One of the most underrated aspects of Jimmy Butler's game is his ability to take care of the ball. Since his arrival, the Warriors have jumped to 5th in turnover percentage, a massive improvement for a team that's rely heavily on Steph's high-risk, high-reward playstyle. For scorers, a low turnover rate is incredibly impactful. Think about it. Every possession matters, especially in the playoffs. Jimmy might not be a three-point threat, but his ability to control possessions and make smart decisions has been a game changer. He's not just a scorer, he also stabilizes the offense. This improvement in the turnover economy has allowed the Warriors to maximize their offensive potential so far. Fewer wasted possessions mean more opportunities for Steph, Jimmy, and the rest of the team to do what they do best. It's subtle, but it plays a crucial part in this team's dominance since the trade. Let's dive into the most controversial part of Jimmy Butler's game: the free throws. The Warriors' lack of rim pressure was a glaring issue before Jimmy Butler arrived, but since the trade, they flipped the script. Ranking 2nd in free throw rate, Jimmy's aggressive drives and ability to draw contact has given the Warriors a reliable way to generate easy points around the basket. Free throws might not be the most exciting part of basketball, but they're a cornerstone of efficient offense. Jimmy's ability to get to the line consistently has been a safety net for the Warriors, especially in tight games or when the offense stalls. And it's not just about points, it's about the pressure. When Jimmy's attacks the rim, he forces defenses to collapse, which open up perimeter, or sometimes guys don't even try to contest him because they don't want to get a cheap foul. So it just opens up easy ways to get points. Another analytically friendly area where Jimmy Butler has made a significant impact is on the offensive glass. With him on the floor, the Warriors are in the 90th percentile in offensive rebounding rate. This hustle has been crucial for keeping plays alive, creating extra possessions, and mitigating some of their spacing issues. In today's NBA, controlling the possession game is more important than ever, and Jimmy's effort on the boards have been a key part of that. Offensive rebounds don't just lead to second chance points, they wear down opposing defenses, extend possessions, giving the Warriors more opportunities to score. It's a gritty, underrated part of Jimmy's game that has helped his team maintain the pressure on opponents. And when you pair that with the Warriors shooting at times, it's a recipe for success. For years, Steph has carried the burden of being the Warriors' primary creator, but at this stage of his career, the load was starting to show pre-Jimmy Butler. Now with Jimmy on the floor, Steph doesn't have to work as hard on the ball. Instead, he can focus on doing what he does best, and that's wrecking havoc, running around screens, creating plays on and off the ball, just being primarily a off-ball video game. And that's what makes him, Draymond, and everybody about this Warriors ecosystem better. And with him being an off-ball video game again and not wearing himself down by just playing this pseudo-helio role per se, he now has more juice on the ball to go back to his usual Steph-like production when he has the ball in his hands. And now since Jimmy's arrived, the Warriors' offense has just reached new heights because of the impact of this. They've been the third-ranked offense since the trade, which is a testament to Jimmy's high IQ and seamless fit within their system. And while Jimmy isn't a three-point threat, his ability to attack the rim, create for others, has opened up so much on the floor for the rest of the team. Defense can't even crash out as much and focus on stuff just solely because Jimmy drives around the rim, gets consistent attention. The balance have made the Warriors even more dangerous and dynamic and harder to defend, that you even get nights like this that we're watching where Steph just goes bonkers for 56 points. While the Warriors' offense has been a headline since Jimmy Butler's arrival, their defense has quietly been just as impressive. Currently ranking 4th in defensive efficiency, the Warriors have looked more connected, disciplined, and versatile on that end of the floor. A big improvement in that comes from their ability to force turnovers. Since the trade, the Warriors are first in opponent turnover percentage thanks to Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green's elite defensive playmaking. But it's not just about creating chaos, it's about how they tighten up their rotations and protected the rim despite their lack of size, allowing the least amount of rim attempts in the league currently and ranking top 10 amongst defensive accuracy at the rim. While the Warriors' defense have shown significant improvement, there are still areas of concern that could be exploited in a playoff series as any defense. First, their point of attack defense. Steph Curry and Brandon Pajitsky have struggled at times with shorter, quicker, shiftier guards, and even Jimmy Butler has shown some regression against shifty ball handlers. This could be a problem, especially in a conference full of elite perimeter creators such as John Morant, Jamal Murray, James Harden, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, or even a playoff series against Kyrie Irving, who just hung 42 points on their head not too long ago. Second, their vulnerability in the short mid-range area. The Warriors allow the most shots in the floater zone area, and that's a potential weakness that could be targeted. While some may argue this isn't a major concern because how many players are truly dominant in that area, it's still a gap/area that opponents could scheme for and just rep against potentially in a playoff series. Just another thing that could potentially work against them, but probably won't, or it's just something that they potentially just want to live with. Like, if you just kill me with a bunch of floaters, then hey, I guess you deserve to win the series, right? The last major defensive concern I really have for the Warriors is the hefty minutes of Draymond Green at the 5. While this elite help defense and offensive playmaking helps him be invaluable, can he sustain that over a grueling playoff run at the 5? Teams could look to attack him by bringing him on the ball into on-ball actions with him at the 5, then reversing the ball to exploit mismatches. And while Jimmy Butler is a great, I want to say it again, great defensive playmaker off the ball, you still prefer having Draymond as that backline defender, as that help defender, as that roamer, that helper, instead of being forced to guard the ball. Similar to like what the Warriors did a couple years ago to Anthony Davis, just sort of attacking him on the ball, because once you get past them, their help is almost non-existent. And I could see that being a thing coming this playoffs. The Warriors' flexibility is one of their greatest strengths. They have the ability to mix and match a multitude of lineups based on what they need at any given moment. But there are still challenges. While the Warriors have players who can fill specific roles, teams like Boston and Oklahoma City are built with two-way players across the board, making it harder to exploit weaknesses. The Warriors' success will depend on their ability to execute Curry's game plan and for Curry to navigate these rotations almost perfectly. In a league where the margins are razor thin, the Warriors' versatility gives them a fighting chance in every series. But in the playoffs where every possession matters, they'll need to be at their best to overcome these elite teams in the West. As we look ahead, the Warriors' season hinges on a few questions. Can they maintain their elite offense? Can they keep their elite defense? Will their flexibility and depth be enough to overcome teams built with two-way players? And most importantly, is Jimmy Butler the missing piece? These questions will be answered come playoffs, and if they are, then I guess this new look Warriors squad does have championship hopes. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you think, whether the Warriors are pretenders or contenders.